Power users will appreciate the ability to navigate your database with the keyboard. By using the Tab key, they can move from button to button and between form fields. But sometimes the ordering can get a bit off as we arrange and then rearrange the layout of our forms. We can fix this and ensure proper navigation via the Tab key by paying attention to the tab stop order. Let's open up the Add Customer form that we created in the last movie. Now right now you can see my cursor is in this Customer ID field. If I press the Tab key on my keyboard, it jumps down to the first name field. Once again, then it goes over here to the last name field. But when I press it again, it skips email and jumps all the way down here to phone number. If I continue pressing the Tab key, it cycles through the address fields. Then one more time from zip code, it goes back up to email. And then it comes down to the Save and Close button. And then finally to the Cancel button. One more time, loops me back around to the top where it starts the sequence again. Now what I want to do is make sure that my tabs are in sequence, that when I go from my last name field here, it goes to email and not skip it. I also want to remove the tab sequence from these buttons over here. So when I go from the zip code field here, I want it to jump back to Customer ID up here and not go to the buttons. So we can control all of that in the design view. I'll right-click on this Add Customer label up here and switch into design view. The tool that will help us control this is this button over here called Tab Order. Go ahead and select it. Here I have the different fields in my form, and I can reorder them however I want. So right now it goes Customer ID, then first name, then last name, but then it skips the email and goes to phone. So let's go ahead and grab the email here. I'll click on it to highlight over here on the left-hand side, and then I'll click and drag to reposition it. I'll go ahead and move it and drop it on top of phone. Now it'll go last name, then email, then phone, then through the address fields. Now I also want to remove the tab order from hitting these buttons over here, this Command 9 and Command 10. In order to do that, I need to go back to the property sheet. Let's go ahead and say OK to this. And I'm going to go ahead and select one of the buttons. And in the property sheet, I'm going to go to the Other tab. Here, I'm going to find the property called Tab Stop. And I'm going to change it from yes to no. And we'll do the same thing for the other button here. Change it from yes to no. Now these are no longer considered tab stops. But if I go back up here to Tab Order, you'll see that they still show up here. We just don't hit them as we cycle through. Let's go ahead and say OK. And go ahead and test it out. OK, we'll switch our view. So right now, my cursor is in this Customer ID field here. I'll press the Tab key. We go down to name, last name, then email. That looks good. Now phone number, then the address fields. I'm in the zip code field now, and it should jump back up to customer. So one more time, and it sure does. It skips over these buttons entirely. So when you're getting close to the final layout of your forms, remember to double check that your tab stops are in a sequence that makes sense. There's nothing more irritating than pressing a tab key on the form and having the cursor zoom off to some unexpected location.